The letter to the Hebrews, you might remember, was written to Jews who, facing pressure as Christians, were wondering, shouldn't we just go back to synagogue, go back to the old way of Judaism? And this chapter focuses on why that is an utterly impossible choice, why it will result in judgment rather than in freedom. And it starts with a reminder that the law is only a shadow of the good things that are to come. Now we've got the reality. Now we've got the substance. You can't go back to shadows. You can't go back to the promises when you've got the fulfilment. That's a backward move, and nobody should even consider that for a moment, just from a logical point of view. But when it comes to the matters of the heart and the spirit, we must be a people who hold on to Christ, because he held on and died for us and did something once that is unrepeatable. You can't go back to annual sacrifices. They didn't work, and they never would work. We have the one perfect sacrifice. And he tells us in verse 10, we have been made holy through the sacrifice of the body of Jesus Christ once and for all. There's not only no need for repetition, it's like a blasphemy to turn away from it or to try and repeat it. That's why many people who saw the Roman Catholic Church seeing the Eucharist, the Lord's Supper, the Mass, as a repeated sacrifice where the body is literally offered again, as a denial of the gospel that led to the Reformation and Protestants protesting and becoming clear that they had laid hold of the once and for all nature of the gospel in Jesus Christ. And praise God, because of the one sacrifice, he has made perfect forever those who are made holy. That's verse 14. So we inherit that. And therefore there are certain things that we cannot do and that we must do. And they're listed in verse 19 through to the end of the chapter. Number 1, verse 19, let's enter in. We don't go back, we enter in. We enter into the presence of God. We enter into worship. We move forward with him. Number 2, we encourage one another. Verse 24, let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds. In other words, we can't just dial down. We must stir one another up constantly and keep going. Number 3, don't give up meeting. That's a tendency when you're feeling pressure is, let's not go to the meeting. Let's not identify publicly any longer with those people who are being persecuted. There may be a cost here. No, we must carry on meeting. That's the habit of some, he says. But let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. In other words, our focus is forward to the redemption that's about to be fulfilled. Number 4, don't return to sinful lives. Don't find sinful ways of indulging yourself because they bring comfort. No, we've been made holy. Let's stay holy. Let's not yield to the temptation for greed or for immorality or for domination of other people, but let's be servants who love and honour the gospel. Number 5, let's remember the price that we have already paid and that others have paid and are paying. In verse 32, it tells us, remember those earlier days after you'd received the light, when you stood ground in the great contest in the face of great suffering. And sometimes you were publicly exposed to insult and persecution. Other times you stood side by side by those who were so treated. You sympathized with those in prison and joyfully accepted the confiscation of your property because you knew that you yourselves had better and lasting possessions. You don't want to just throw in the towel after you've gone that sort of way in committing yourself to Christ. And then that's really the conclusion in Verse 35, don't throw away your confidence. Don't chuck it all away. What you've received is infinitely precious. Don't go back. Don't turn away. Stand your ground. And our confidence is expressed in verse 39. We are not those who shrink back, but we are those who believe and are saved. And notice that little phrase. We're not those who shrink back and are destroyed, because that's the alternative, destruction or salvation in the presence of the Lord.